So this recently came into the shop, and at first blush you would probably presume it to be a 1950s, early 1960s Gibson Plectrum banjo. What with it being a Plectrum banjo with bow tie inlays, but again, not with that headstock. But as everybody always says, never say never with Gibson. This is not a Gibson neck though. I'm certain of that. This resonator could be Gibson. The flathead tone ring might be Gibson. The rest of the hardware is definitely not Gibson, and the rim is certainly not Gibson. And while the tone ring fits very well on the outside, on the inside, it doesn't touch the rim, but is rather supported by a rolled brass tone hoop. So who would counterfeit? Who would make a plectrum neck like this, and who frankened this together? We may never know. But yes, plectrum banjos aren't necessarily popular, except that this belonged to a polka player, and Cleveland style polkas and plectrum banjos go hand in glove. It is a necessary instrument and the authentic reproduction of the Cleveland sound. Whatever. This is a very well made neck. However, somebody got their hands on it and really butchered the heel, I am sorry to say. Originally, this neck was cut for a two-piece flange, so likely somebody had this neck made as a conversion for a tenor or possibly even a 5-string Gibson. This is not a two-piece flange though. This is a one-piece flange, and so they really butchered the heel in order to make this work, and then they had to shim it, so it's something of a monstrosity. That said, it does sound surprisingly good. It came into the shop because the neck needed rebound, so I did that. It didn't have position markers on the original, so I put those there, and I have tried to color match the aging on the binding on the resonator. Another very weird thing with this Parts banjo is the tailpiece. You would be forgiven to think that this is a 1920s or 1930s Ottinger tailpiece, but it is not. It is a home brew thing of some sort. I suspect the person was a machinist or a plumber, because the coordinator rods are also not standard. They are made of copper tubing, and brass. Just very, very weird. This is not an Ottinger, and I don't know if you can see the asymmetry going on there with the bass itself. Even the fingers are asymmetrical, some being longer than others. The talons, which you put the hoop over, are far too wide to accept the hoop strings. It's just very weird. It's pretty well done, but it is just, it's, the whole thing's a mystery. But again, it sounds pretty good. So someone made a really nice neck for this, and then somebody took that very nice neck and just butchered the heel. Somehow this banjo all comes together, is held together, and this is going back to the person that bought it from the estate, Mr. Ron Pivovar. This is one of his banjos now, and if you haven't ever checked Ron out, he was nice enough to name a polka after me, so who couldn't like that? So this is a weird Parts Plectrum